Hello and welcome back everyone to the Powder Toy, and after an entire day of development, that's right, I didn't even work on Valor yesterday because this was just my entire day, I have added blood vessels to the Powder Toy. But not only have I added blood vessels to the Powder Toy, but I have also added heat damage. So let's go ahead, talk about that, and explore the changes that have been made, because they have been far-reaching and pretty damn exciting. So let's go ahead. Unfortunately, my big test isn't working yet. I have to do a little bit more. But let's go over to my general testing over here. Go over to fancy display so that it looks nice. And I had to do some things. First off, I added new fields to every particle in the game. So this is no longer a slight modification. There is no way that this could be ported to Lua. I've had to get really fancy in order to make this work how I want it to. Sorry. But there are some other really cool things. For example, if I hover over something with the debug menu on, you can see that it shows the O2, CO2, and health levels, which are now separately saved in the game. I made this decision so that I could more easily mess around with the values and add more things in the future, like nutrition and stuff, maybe hydration, you know, fun things. Also, the coloring system for dead tissue was changed a little bit. And I debuffed a tiny bit the ability for meat to diffuse oxygen within itself. It can still do it, just not quite as easily. So these old, really wide versions of blood vessels are not quite as effective anymore. But have no fear, blood vessel is here. We can just go ahead and grab blood from over here and dump it where it's needed. Blood vessels work pretty much like pipes surrounded by meat, but they can actually diffuse oxygen from the blood within them. So if we go ahead and set the output, we'll see that it's going to open up, and here it goes, building itself all the way over to the other end. Now we just have to poke a hole, and boom! Blood is being brought through here. It's a little bit hard to see. I'm gonna make it do the proper color of the blood. Right now it just turns to generic color blood when it goes into the vessel. But as you can see, it's coming out the other end, and it's actually helping this part of this vessel not die. And the tissue of the blood vessel is getting oxygen and CO2 because the blood is carrying it along. So it works well. Like, I'm very happy about it. Now, these blood vessels can actually be pretty long and still survive. There are a few things, like, of course, if you go too far, there are limitations, of course. I mean, you already knew there were going to be some limitations, but, like, if I make a blood vessel off of a blood vessel, and I connect these together, you're going to notice that, it is going to have trouble with this second one, just because the amount of blood going into it is going to be low. Because it's splitting it in half, really. But I actually think there's enough. I think this may actually survive. So yeah, you can go pretty crazy with this stuff. You can build large oh, this is actually, we should probably do something before that this entire part dies. It's like push it up so that it hits the top. There we go. There we go. Is it too late? Is it all dying? Yeah, that's the thing. When you make changes to something like this, you have to be prepared for the consequences of your actions. Also, the amount of blood being used by these blood vessels means that the amount of blood in this upper area has decreased. So let's go ahead and just add more blood to the system. Larger creatures need more blood. Crazy, I know. Looks like we didn't have any cell death, though. But you're wondering, okay, so you said there can be heat damage. Yes, there can. Let me go ahead and make a chamber over here for showing that off. Let's go ahead and make a, because I don't want to kill this quite yet. If we go ahead and get we'll just get meat. Meat! If we go ahead and put a big old blob of meat here, it'll die over time, but very slowly. But if we go ahead and set off a little bit of thermite on top of it, we'll start with something a little bit extreme. You will see that it very quickly burns and does damage. Now, if I get rid of the fire and source of heat, the damage will cede. But since the life has been reduced so much in these layers of meat, it's going to die very quickly from the lack of oxygen. If it was oxygenated, it would not be dying right now. It would be over. But because of the immense amount of damage that the heat has done, yeah, and actually the heat actually just spread through it, and it killed it. I forgot about that. The heat will just travel. I mean, that was way too hot. If you touched thermite with your bare hand, you'd be in a lot of trouble. In real life, I actually did realistic temperatures here, so the point at which it starts burning is actually pretty much correct. It's about 50 degrees Celsius, and then the higher it goes after that, the quicker it does damage. So we can do some testing. We'll just make the very center of this go slight. Oh, okay, that was a little bit fast. I didn't mean for it to be that fast. Okay, whoops. There isn't cold damage yet. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do cold. Okay, let's do 58. So you can see that in the center where it was the hottest, it took a bit of damage. But it cooled down really quickly. So let's go ahead and do like 78. Yeah, so you can see that the health really quickly drops where I did that. Still not dead though. It's just going to die faster than everything else now. But if I go ahead and do it one more time and pop it over, I think we're going to start to see a bit of cell death. Yep. So that spot where I heated it up past its limit. Now this stuff is not going to die quite as easily because it's not at that temperature and it still has some life left over, but we have certainly burned through the tissue and just caused a lot of damage. So let's go ahead and test that over here. If I just go ahead and do a line of fire, it's going to rise, and that is going to be actually very hot, hundreds of degrees. And when it hits the walls, as you can see, it has actually done quite a bit of damage to those arteries. And now those arteries are actually leaking out blood, and this is going to spell disaster for the entire organism, because, well, it's leaking blood. Now, some blood is actually still managing to make it through, so it's not like this is all going to immediately die, but the quantity of blood that's being lost is such that it's going to cause issues for the creature at large, and I'm thinking that this is going to take a bit of damage over at the end of this blood vessel, but perhaps not. Perhaps not. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and just let it bleed a bit. We could patch it up with something like wax, or just throw some new meat on there, but we're gonna see what happens as the quantity of blood in the creature drops. Blood pressure is dropping rapidly. Alright. Unfortunately, the powder toy pipes are quite inefficient, so really large blood vessels don't work very well. Small ones work far better. It's actually almost better for you to use this style of blood vessel, just thick open pipes for the big things. But I'm going to see if I can talk to the powder toy developers and see if there's a way to get pipes to work better, because pipes have always really been an issue in this game. There are ways to make extremely efficient pipes, it's just very non-straightforward. The automatic generation of pipes really needs to be improved. Alright, so we're getting to the point where there is, in fact, a problem. Oh, shoot! Something died here! And this huge area here just pooled up with blood. Oh, that's not good. Let's go ahead and poke a hole in it to try to let that back into the system. Minor surgery here. I'm actually kind of shocked that that broke. I wasn't planning on that breaking. There we go, I fixed it. So as you can see, we're still leaking a little bit of blood out the bottom. And we're starting to get dead tissue building up inside of the blood vessel. We can see it on the edge here. This is dying here. There's just not enough blood to reach the edges. I'm actually very impressed by these little blood vessels. They're actually doing really well compared to the rest. Nice, healthy, bright pink. It's recovered almost entirely since the impact took place of the heat. I mean, it's still leaky, but very, very impressive that it's come back to this point. I mean, it's not going to stay like this. Okay, so the amount of dead tissue here may actually cause a blood clot going into the lung. That's quite a bit that's building up. Of course, the quantity of blood is so low that it's not really blocking it, because there's already almost nothing going through. It's actually a miracle that this thing is still alive. I'm very impressed. It is an absolute mess. Surely, no, the oxygen level, because it goes here first. So there's more than enough to keep these going. It's just the main portion of it is starting to suffer. Even right after the lung, we're starting to see damage. Wow. Yikes. That CO2 level is up there. Granted, it shouldn't be doing damage at 17. Perhaps I made a mistake in the code. Go ahead and check. I have a feeling I probably forgot to switch the CO2 thing to max CO2. Ah, yes. Boom. There you go. See, occasionally I do make mistakes. Did I also make that mistake in lung? Let's see. Nope, that's fine. In blood. Ah. Wow, I did make mistakes. Would you look at that? In this tiny... Oh, no, we have a leak over here as well. Let's fix that. See, this is the point at which things are just going very wrong. Even if we gave it a full, like, blood transfusion, things are dying so quickly. I have a bad feeling. Get all that dead tissue that's clogged up. This is all about to die. It can't get oxygen because the dead tissue is covering it. The blood can't get to it. It's over. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's going. Oh, now it's dying. Oh no! A hole in the most major part of the artery as well. That's rough. It's just open. Oh, everything's leaking out now. Okay, this is actually game over now. It cannot survive that. There is no way for it to survive that. Now the furthest away parts of it are beginning to rot away. Rot away and die. Well, I mean, at least the lungs are happy. We'll just remove the oxygen supply. Fix that. Whee! So as you can see, there's quite a bit going on here. Quite a bit indeed. Very magical. Very, very magical. Oh, I was testing earlier with this. Unfortunately, this won't work. I was going to try to get it to go because the pipes are just bad. Pipes bad. They don't transfer enough. Thicker pipes are way less efficient. But if you were to painstakingly design it, I'm sure you could do well. So, yeah, blood vessels. It's very... Oh, here's the reason. So even if there's a massive diameter of the blood vessel, it goes really quickly But then the moment it turns, look, it turns into this super tiny stream that only goes against one wall of the blood vessel. All of this is not being used. And that's because I stole the Powder Toys pipe code, and the Powder Toys pipes don't actually work very well. Granted, you could just do this, clean it up, and, will it make a new wall? No, it won't. Ooh. Yikes. I guess you could do this and just, like, plug the damn thing, like, wee. There you go. That's a little bit better, I guess, but no, until I find a better solution for pipes, I'm not sure how easy it is to make a proper organism. I think the best way to make a large-scale organism right now is really to use gravity and then use portal in and portal out. Oh, does portal in and portal out actually respect biology? Okay, this is all going to die too. Let's rebuild the meat walls here to give it a little bit more. Oh, it is actually in the process of dying. Wow, this is a really unhealthy organism. It's having a hard time. Let's make the walls a bit thinner here so that they use a little bit less oxygen. Damn. This is not looking good, kids. Oh no. Oh no. I hate it when I literally die. Okay, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry. Dr. Spike is in the house. Temporarily, let's get rid of this because it's really unnecessary. It doesn't do anything of value. It's like me. Now let's go ahead, put this back together, rebuild the walls protecting the lungs. Probably go thinner than that. Whee! Okay, come on. I'm not very artistic, but I will make this work. Alright, great. Okay, fantastic. Now let's go ahead and get Blood Vessel and try to fix this before something goes horribly wrong. Come on, baby. We can save him. We can save him! Ugh. Oh god, that part of the lung literally just freaking died. Okay, this has to be closed off there. This needs to be fixed. This is an absolute mess, but maybe, just maybe, work. Come on, lung. I need you to try your best to get oxygen to everything, because I cannot do this alone. Oh! We can just continue trying to clean up the dead tissue as it piles up. Replace any meat that dies. Try to get oxygen into the blood. I mean, it's carrying a lot of carbon dioxide. I'm gonna try to have this lung help on the other side. Oh god, it's all dying again. Man, why is it having such a hard time? I'm gonna try to increase the surface area of the lung on the inside. And also get some plant near it. feel like the lungs are having some serious issues, which is half the current battle. So if we go ahead, fight as hard as we can to fix the lungs, perhaps we'll fix our other problems. We're getting oxygenated blood. Not a lot, but hell, it's better than nothing. I have to rebuild this entire section again. Perhaps if we just try... Oh, jeez, the lungs freaking died again. I really have no clue what is killing the lungs. It does make me sad to see them continually dying over and over. Okay, more blood. We need more blood so that we can actually reach everything. Okay. It may not be pretty, but this is what peak performance looks like. Literally just still leaking blood into the lungs. What is going on with the lungs, man? I don't understand what they're trying to do. Okay. This is peak performance. We rescued it. It is nothing like it used to be. Really, I couldn't even really consider it the same organism as it was before. However, using modern technology and science, we have... Oh, the lungs are filling up with blood. Okay, that's it. I give up. That's it. Good enough. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I will see you all next time. Oh, it's such a mess. I'm gonna cut it in half. Yeah, Flex Sealing, gonna fix that.